Hey, welcome back to Cincy Fish Dudes. My name is Paul, and today we're going to do something a little different. So Cincy and Cincy Fish Dudes obviously stands for Cincinnati, and we have the Cincinnati Reds, we have FC Cincinnati, we have the Cincinnati Cyclones, and we also have the Cincinnati Bengals. And since the Bengals are back in the playoffs, I thought maybe we'll take this popular piece of poplar, cut it up, carve it, paint it, and catch a fish with it. But let's make a Bengals-inspired crankbait. So that's going to be our goal today. I'm going to shut up and let's start carving. All right, let's head to the Cincy Fish Labs. After coming up with a crankbait design, I printed it out. And next I'm going to cut that out and glue it to our piece of poplar. Then we'll take it to the bandsaw and cut the shape. Next I'll cut the top profile shape, glue it, and then we'll cut it on the bandsaw. I want the eyes to be equal on both sides, so what I'll do is I'll drill a pilot hole straight through the lure and then use that when we cut it later. Next we'll take the existing shape and begin the long, lengthy, tedious sanding process. I like to start off each carving project with a brand new X-Acto blade. Next I'll use a pen and start drawing my chamfer lines so that I can carve out the rounded shape. Over this long winter we're going to be carving some more lures and baits, so go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more of these. This year the Bengals have won the AFC North, and that's 2 consecutive seasons winning the AFC North. As I work through sanding this lure, I change the grit. The general rule of thumb is to never increase the grit by more than 50% each time. So if you start with like an 80 grit sandpaper, you can skip to 120, but not 150 or higher. Now I'm going to use a Forstner bit to drill the eye holes that we made pilot holes for earlier. I like to make the tie-on eyes and hook holder eyes myself, so I use steel wire and a drill. And so far, they have worked great for me. For this lure, I'm going to make 3 tie-on eyes altogether. Next, I'll drill the holes in which we'll screw in our tie-on eyes. Now I'm going to use that same Forstner bit from earlier to make our lead holes. I'm going to prepare some 5-minute epoxy so that when we screw in our tie-on eyes, they are there for good. I'm going to use a Dremel tool to manually drill in the slot for which we will install the bill. The material that I'm going to use for the bill will be Lexan polycarbonate. It's a very tough material, I'm going to go ahead and trace that stencil out and cut it on the bandsaw. After sanding it down, I'm going to go ahead and make sure it fits snug, which it does. Using a can of shellac, I'm going to seal the wood before I install the bill and pour in the lead and all that, so we can start our water testing. It's important to seal your lure before you paint and all that kind of stuff. I use 5-minute epoxy to install the bill, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill the lead. I kind of just wing this process, just using my past experience. Sometimes I need more lead, sometimes I need less. I want this lure to sink very slowly. We're at the top of the water right now, so I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole and add just a little bit more lead so that the lure will float upright with a steady sink. I went ahead and put on some hooks. This is pretty ideal for what I want, so now I'm going to get that 5-minute epoxy out again and go ahead and fill in those lead holes and then sand it down. Now the fun can begin. We'll start the airbrushing process, and first I'm going to put on a black base coat. Next I'm going to use painter's tape and start cutting the Bengals stripes. So after I got some stripes on there, I'm going to use like a shower loofah scrunchy type thing and cut it. And then I'm going to clamp it around the lure so when we spray paint it orange, it will have a cool scale color. And now I don't have orange, so I'm going to mix red and yellow together and just get the closest match that I can. And we'll airbrush those scale patterns. Then remove the clamps and, well, this is what I got. Then I'm going to use that same orange to spray the top of the lure and then use Wicked Pearl White to spray paint the face of the lure, kind of like how the Bengal has that white underneath its nose and around its mouth area. After painting the face, I'm going to remove the painter's tape to reveal our stripes, and then I'm going to hand paint some eyebrow kind of things and little details like the nose, maybe give it some whiskers, I don't know. I created some fins on Photoshop and printed them on decal paper. So I'll go ahead and apply all those decals, including my signature, the Cincy Fish Dude logo, and then we'll move on to finding the right eye. And I'm going to go ahead and settle with this. Kind of happy with that. And then I'll measure equal parts carefully of True Coat and add a little bit of gold glitter in there and give it a good mix. And then I'll start painting on the clear coat. And then I'll let this rotate overnight. It's time to add the hooks and hardware and start fishing. Wow, super stable. We got a really slow sink and a nice stable wobble. Cool. It is freezing cold out here, of course. That is looking awesome. Okay, I'm going to call it a day. I'm cold. I'm freezing. I don't see any life. I think if I want to catch anything, I gotta throw it way out deep. I was just hoping maybe they'd be sunbathing today by the warm rocks. That's a negative. Or maybe they just don't want my lure. But I doubt that, because my lure is beautiful. And it, you know what? It's got those crawly colors. So perhaps I'll bust it out again this spring and get that smallie bite with those crawly patterns. But pretty happy with it. Gonna wrap it up. So if you like what you saw today and you want to see more, this is not the last bait we'll be building this winter. We'll be heading to the fishing expo this weekend. So stop by and check us out at the Crankbait booths. You can also find us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Fishbrain. Please subscribe, like, comment down below. We'll be back as soon as we can. Once again, thank you for watching Cincy Fish Dudes.
Blue Day, baby.